This is Chris, the Idaho painter, here on Home Improvement How To's. Today we're going to show you how to troubleshoot an airless sprayer that's not priming. Bam. All right, so here we are today. I was rolling walls with our Graco 395. We were using the pressure roller, and suddenly the thing just stopped working, no more pressure, and it was cycling like it lost its prime. Walked over here, the sprayer, simple little troubleshooting tips. I thought I just lost its prime for some reason. It was gonna just hit the prime, reprime it, and away I go, and then the thing didn't work. So we're gonna walk you through some of the troubleshooting process now. We haven't even fixed this thing. I called John over here, got Journeyman John here, and we're gonna just walk you through the steps that we would go through troubleshooting this airless sprayer right here after it's not primed. And one of the first things I did, once it wouldn't prime, just by flipping the prime knob down and flipping it back up, it wouldn't build pressure back up, so it was lacking pressure. I thought maybe the intake tube right here would be clogged with some paint film. Maybe that was in the paint, which we just call it dirty paint. So I lifted up the intake tube, and there was a few little chunks of paint on this intake tube, but I was thinking maybe there's gonna be something completely covering the intake tube where it couldn't suck up paint. And I looked at the end of the prime thing just to make sure nothing's on the prime thing, right on the prime tube where paint would come out, and just to make sure nothing was obstructing both of those tubes, and nothing was obstructing them. And so now we gotta begin looking at the sprayer. You got any thoughts, John?
You know, like you said, you check, if your paint is dirty, that's going to give you some hints about what problems you're going to be having. Typically, if it's just priming like that, it's just running, it's not building any pressure. There's a little seat ball inside the piston there. If that's not seating all the way because there's a little piece of paint blocking it, it's not going to build pressure. It will still run, but it won't build pressure. So one of the ways you can kind of start to figure that out too is does it prime or not? So when you flip it over to prime, is there fluid coming out of that prime section?
And that's a good point that John brought up. When I would prime it, I would flip it over to prime. There should be, you know, a constant, steady flow of paint coming out of here, and there was none. I think we can power it on, and we can show you that. John, got the power on. So there's paint dripping off. So there's paint just dripping off because there's paint on the tube, but there's no paint actually flowing out of the prime tube, and he's got the prime knob pointing down, and that's prime. So we know it's not priming, no paint is flowing through here. So my initial thoughts were that something is stuck on the prime valve itself. So maybe some paint film that was built up on this tube, or something smaller than the rock screen got through the intake tube and stopped and clogged that ball. And it's interesting, we've had weird things like a blade of grass come through the intake tube and get in there and get stuck between the ball. The blade of grass is stuck there, and that would stop the ball from falling down and seating. They've got this little round ball like a marble in there, and that thing's just not seating, and that could be one of the things. So we're going to begin taking this apart, and we're going to and show you just the simple process of troubleshooting that. Unfortunately, there's no easy, clean way to do it. You're going to get paint on your hands. We're on a tile floor right here. We're sitting on, you know, red rosin paper, but it's going to be a good idea to have a drop cloth, because when you take this off, you know, paint's going to come off. So I'm going to grab a drop cloth, set that under there, and we're going to show you how simple it is to just check that ball and see what, and we're going to show you what we find in there if we find anything. So a couple simple tools that you may need for repairing your sprayer is a crescent wrench,
a small pair of needle nose pliers or tweezers,
some piston lube or TSL lube to lubricate your parts before putting your sprayer back together. And don't forget, if you enjoy our videos or the videos series that we put out, please consider subscribing to our channel.
Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, because we've got more cool tips and tricks like this that we're posting all the time.
Subscribe. Bam. Myself a drop cloth. I'm just going to want to lay this drop cloth out right here. The paint got on the tile floor. It easily just wipes right off. No big deal. But it really looks good to the customer if the customer walks in and everything's sitting on a drop cloth. There is no customer around this house. We're working on another multi-million-dollar home here, Customer's gone for a week, so we're not worried about that, but here we go. So we're gonna begin the process of checking this ball, and this is our lower end section right here. We're gonna have a ball seat down here. We're just gonna remove this, and one of the nice things about these sprayers is a lot of the times you don't need any tools. We haven't taken this one apart, so from the factory it might be really tight, but typically we could just grab and use our hands to untighten everything, and then we just tighten it back up with our hands, so we don't need to go grab a whole lot of tools to look at this and repair this. But here we go, we've got the sprayer right here, and we're gonna test it out to see if it's hand tight or not. And it looks like it is hand tight. Simple little nut right here. I mean, that's what I call it. I don't know. I mean, do you call that a nut?
Yeah, it looks like a nut to me.
So, and then you're just gonna wiggle it. And so John's wiggling it, and he's got it taken off right there. And now the first thing we're gonna do down inside here, I'm gonna look inside this tube. And a lot of times this is more or less a brand new sprayer. And we've only used it, you know, it's been used for a few weeks, so I wouldn't think there would be a lot of paint buildup film, but a lot of times if this is an older sprayer, a couple years old, there might be a big chunk of paint film, and you'll see it inside there, and you can grab it and just pull it right out. I don't see anything. I'm just gonna take and dump this and check and see if I see anything up in there, and I don't see anything up there. I'm gonna wanna just clean this back up right here, because this is gonna end up going back on there. Just want to make sure it's nice and clean before you put it back on there. Did you see anything up inside there?
I think I found our culprit. Give me that rag.
John thinks he's found something. That's how simple it could be. Sometimes it's really fast and simple. I would say most of the time, it's as simple as pulling this thing off, looking up there, and you're gonna see something. And a lot of times John, he carries a tool belt or a bag. I used to wear a tool bag a lot, but because of the video and all that stuff, I'm not doing it as much. But I always had a pair of tweezers in mind, because you can just reach up there with the tweezers, or I had a small pair of small needle nose, because the whole, you can't get both fingers up there and say grab a blade of grass. And so John has found something. Let's see what you found, John.
I have. Do we want to try to zoom in here?
Let me try to, I'm gonna get a little zoom in here and show you what we found. Okay, here we go. We got this thing, and we think we discovered the culprit here. And John, why don't you go ahead and pull out?
So we've got just a small set of needle nose pliers here. We're gonna take that and gently pull out that big bad mamma jamma.
So there would be the culprit, and that thing, that's a big clump of paint, like skimmed paint, and that would probably be a buildup of what was inside the hose. And more than likely, I'm going to show you what happens is if you don't clean the sprayers out really good, you're going to get paint and the paint settling down in the trap right there, and it begins to develop a film, and then that film will eventually break free and then go up into the ball and clog the ball. So John's got a good section, because there's no way that could have actually passed through the rock guard, so it has to be between the rock guard and the ball itself. Absolutely incredible. And that's how simple that was. John's gonna look under there, see if he can find any more to pull out, and then we're gonna put this thing back together and see if it runs. So now we pulled it off. We can put this back together, and more than likely it's gonna work right now, but we're just gonna take off, because there was some of the paint film, and it actually passed beyond the ball, and it was on the other side of the ball, and once we fired this thing up, that would probably just continue through and then get trapped in the manifold filter. But John's wanting to play around a little bit more and take it all apart. So typically this would be just hand tight too from the factory. It was pretty tight, but we wanted to take it apart and show you if that didn't work, or if something was beyond there, then how you would check it. But now we've got this lower section off there, and the ball is inside there, kind of a steel ball. And there's a bunch more stuff that passed beyond that steel ball.
So you'll drop that little valve ball out. There's going to be a little ring. You're going to lift that guy up, and that's going to free up all that fun.
So all this stuff, there you go. This was all wrapped around the ball itself. So I think it was a good thing that John pulled this section off, because I don't think it was all wrapped around the ball. I don't think that would have come off if we would have fired it back up. That's an extreme case. I don't know if I've ever seen a case in all my years.
Not with interior paint.
With interior paint, with it all wrapped around the ball like that. This, you don't want to throw back in your paint. You want to get rid of it. So,
I'm gonna go rinse this off, and we'll show you how to put it back together, and we'll get this bad boy going again.
There you go.
Don't drop the ball down the drain or in the grass.
Bad things happen when you do that.
So in the way this is gonna go, you're just gonna take that ball, make sure it's all clean, not scratched up. It drops in there. This guy drops on top. Yep. Drop that ball in, and then this is gonna go. It's gonna seat right in there. It's gonna look kind of like a 4-leaf clover with that ball in there. And then that ball, when that vacuum is created, it pulls that ball up, pulls the fluid, but then when that piston comes back down, it pushes that ball down, and that's what's gonna pressurize the paint. So when a piece of paint gets, of dry paint or grass gets stuck on that ball, it can't pressurize, stuff keeps escaping out the side. That's where it'll just keep cycling and losing its prime.
So now we got this thing all cleaned off, and we're gonna begin putting it back together. And prior to putting it back together, you wanna make sure this is all cleaned really well. Make sure it's all wiped off, no paint on that. And one of the things we like to do is just take Piston Lube. So we got some Piston Lube right here, and I like to rub some Piston Lube on the threads in here, the threads both sides. And one of the things that will do, that will help fight corrosion, and it'll help keep it from sealing or corroding on there and locking itself on there. So we're just gonna put a little drop of Piston Lube on there and then thread it on. And that is also, if there's any paint on there, on the threads at all, anywhere, it's gonna help keep that paint from drying and sealing those threads on there and making it really hard to take this thing off, because it's gonna be on there for, I mean, we don't take them off that often, so it's easy for that thing to just tighten itself on there, get seized on there, corroded on there over a period of time. So just a little bit of Piston Lube, put some Piston Lube right there. You can also use throat seal, which is the same thing. Whatever you are typically lubricating your piston with. So we got our piston right here. We're lubricating those things on a daily basis. So there we go, got that on. Now we're just gonna put our intake tube back on, gonna wipe that off.
That's just gonna push right in. And then you'll screw that nut right back on, hand tight.
This intake tube also, it has 2 little O-rings on there. And those O-rings, this is a fairly new sprayer. It's not brand new, but we use it for a few exteriors, and I think, we haven't had it that long, but you know, those O-rings right now, they're nice and soft, lubricated, but you can also use some Piston Lube or something to lubricate those, or even some lube for like silicone lube to make sure those things are lubricated. After about a year or so, I'd probably lubricate them if I took this thing off again, but we didn't need to do them. They're nice and soft, brand new. So there we go, tip that thing back up, and I would assume this thing's gonna fire back up and be good to go. If not, then we would continue the troubleshooting process from there. But what do you think, like what percentage of the time that we run into these issues with it not priming, is that the issue?
Typically that's going to be the issue. Usually we're using something like, usually we'll see it on exterior paint that dries really fast, and it'll be a hot day, it'll dry inside that siphon tube. And usually this will fix it. If it keeps happening again, that's gonna be kind of an indicator that there's a lot of dried paint in here that's starting to come off. We did have that happen one time where I think we spent 2 hours trying to get a pump to work because it kept breaking off little pieces up into that ball valve, and we had to keep clearing it out. At that point, it might be time to switch over to a different pump or replace that siphon valve, and usually your local paint stores will carry extra parts for things like that.
And that's an issue you'll run into. What I notice is if you're cross-using products from water-based products to like lacquer-based products or oil-based products, you're going to run into issues like that. And that's why we never use a lacquer-based pump or a lacquer-based product with an oil-based product or a water-based product down the road. We have separate pumps for each one of those things. So you can do it, but you could run into problems down the road. If this didn't fix the situation, another thing we're gonna probably maybe jump down to is popping the prime valve off and looking at that. But that would be another video, another series, because that's not very common with newer sprayers. I mean, if this sprayer was 10 years or 5 years old or more, we might start running into issues like that, because a lot more stuff, tiny little things might get through the hose, get through the piston, and they get stuck in that valve.
And usually with something like that, it won't lose its prime. What you'll have a hard time doing is getting it to prime. And so usually you can kind of finagle it a little bit and get it so that it does catch a prime and hold pressure. But if it just won't hold pressure at all, usually it has to do with that little ball valve down there.
So we'll come out with another video here in the near future, working on that prime valve. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's gonna help you get up and running fast so you can start making money again. Okay, let's go. Let's test this thing out and see if it actually works. There we go. Let's go make some money.